This is going to be a quick video on how to create custom shift patterns within RotaPlanner. So this could be useful for industries like logistics or anything where you have a regular kind of repeating cycle, which can be quite complex. So we're going to jump in here and click on the plus to add shift, and you'll see a create shift pattern button. If we click that, we'll see a few predefined shift patterns here. We've got 2 at the moment, but what we're going to talk about today is the custom option. So this is quite powerful, but a little bit complex. So what we're doing here is we're trying to describe the pattern for a single employee. So one example that I've had recently was for a editing studio where they have 3 employees that cycle between a 7 a.m. start, a 9 a.m. start, and a 11 a.m. start shift. And then, so they do that for a week, like a 7 a.m. for a week, and then a 9 a.m. for a week, and then 11 a.m. for a week. And then they cycle back around. So that's what I'm going to replicate today. So the first thing we would do is make this pattern here with letters. So because we have 7 days of the first 7 a.m. shift, I'm going to call that early morning. So I'm going to use the letter E. And we've got 7 days of those shifts. So I'm going to do 7 E's. So 2, 3, 5. Okay, and then we've got another 7 of the 9 a.m. start, and then another 7 of the 11 a.m. start. So I'm going to pick another 2 letters and do 7 of those each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I've got E, which it can be any letter, but E for early morning, M for morning, and L for late morning. And I've got 7 of those for each letter. Then I'm going to go down and say that I've got 3 employees, and my offset got calculated for me automatically, but basically what the offset is say the first person in the pattern, they will do it like this, so they'll have 7 early mornings, but the second person will start with an offset of 7, so they'll start here. So they'll start with the morning shift, so that'll be the second person, and then the third person will have 2 times that offset, so they'll start at 14, which will be here. So that way we'll get full coverage for all of those 3 different shift types with our 3 employees. Now, hopefully that makes sense. It can be a bit complex. We've also got a special character of the dash, which you can use for a rest day. So when you have no shifts on that day. And then we will select the employees that we want to assign to each of the slots, and then define the actual shift times. So here I'd put 7 a.m. for the early morning, 9 a.m. for the morning, and 11 a.m. for the late morning. And I'll put a little title in here. Early morning, morning, late morning. So if I go ahead and add that, we can see here that it's created that pattern for us. Let me just zoom out to a month range, starting on the 14th, so that it's easier to see. Okay, so now we see that we've got Annabelle does 7 of the early morning shifts, and then she does 7 of the morning shifts, and then 7 of the late morning. And then if I go further, then you'll see that she goes back to the early morning shifts. And now we've got a clean and repeatable pattern for our employees. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown. I'm going to add more examples as I go to this document.